It's that time of the year when people are scared to take the large spreads. I get it. College basketball is just starting. Why force anything when you've got NBA, when you've got NFL, when you've got college football? Well, over here, we don't scare away from the big spreads. We cashed in on one yesterday. We're going to run it back again today. I've got a college basketball winner for you guys alongside two NBA player props. This is the free three. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm bringing down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we're just trying to get to the bag together and make that money. Yesterday, no harm, no foul kind of day, a 2-2 day. Really could have easily been a 3-1 or 4-0 day, but we'll take the 2-2 day. Georgia on the spread. I told you they were going to crush Alabama A&M. No sweat bet there. The spread was like 26 points. We were able to win that game by like 40 plus points. We got it done. The Nets and Hornets over. Some people are like, Noble, no Cam Thomas, LaMelo Ball getting benched. What's going on? Hey, we still cashed the over. We got it done. Let's get it. Our two losses of the day. Marquette, we needed 79 points. They scored 76. That was a little bit of a heartbreaker. Luka's assist, we added that as a bonus pick. I probably should have just taken Dallas on the spread, but it happens. We took Luka's assist there. We needed 7. He got 5, so you hate to see that. And Marquette, I told you guys to take them on the spread or money line. I leaned towards them, even though I stayed off of it. So anyway, if you watched the full video, if you got the analysis, then there were several leans like the Mavs, like Marquette, that if you had taken it anyway, you would have had a very successful day. But 2-2 on the day, no harm, no foul. We're gonna run it back today. You can see our record right here. We're still doing good for the month of November. We've got about 10 days or so to kind of boost it up. But Thanksgiving football, college basketball, holiday hoops action, we're gonna have a lot of different ways that we can get to the bag here. So if you have not smashed that subscribe button, shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you for all the comments on the videos. Shout out to my boy watching from Mexico. Shout out to everybody who's been coming newer to the channel. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you so much as we're trying to hit our first 1,000 subscribers here. So if you have not done that just yet, or if you have not shared this video with somebody you know is a sports bettor, make sure you guys do that so I can give you guys that plus 1,000 parlay when we hit 1,000 subscribers, right? I'm done yapping. Let's get into these winners for today. 3 winners on the hardwood. Let's get into this action. First best bet for this Wednesday, November 20th card. We're going to go to the college basketball slate real quickly. Just get this one out of the way. Not a lot of games that I really like on the college basketball slate, if I'm being honest. Obviously, everybody's going to watch the Alabama-Illinois game, but there was nothing I really wanted to touch on that game. The spread's a little bit too high at 8.5 for me. The total is way too high at 170, considering the fact they're playing on a neutral court. All the other blue blood programs right now are just very, very high favorites on the spread, but there is one favorite that is high on the spread that we're gonna have to lay some chalk, but I'm willing to do it because it cashed in yesterday. So let's go again with it today. We're gonna go Texas A&M against Southern University. We're gonna take A&M minus 26.5, minus 110 odds. So this is a very similar analysis of like I gave you guys yesterday in Alabama A&M, because Southern is another one of those HBCUs, another one of those lower level teams in the D1 level that just don't seem to be able to play and win the games when they step up in class. It doesn't matter if it's an NCAA tournament, doesn't matter if it's the regular season. They normally tend to schedule a lot of weaker teams to start off their regular season, and then when they play some of these tougher opponents like Texas A&M, they get absolutely blown out of the gym. Southern right now are 1-3 on the year. Their only win came in last game against a non-D1 opponent where they won that game 131-42. So I bet it felt really good for them to win a game by almost 100 points after they lost to Texas A&M Commerce 70-68, after they lost to Iowa 89-74, and then after they lost to South Dakota 93-79. So literally all other D1 opponents that they faced this year, they've lost to. But one of the teams that they've lost to, Texas A&M Commerce, they lost 70-68 on the road. Very tough game, tough loss by 2 points, but Texas A&M has also played them as well. I love when we can start getting common opponents when we start breaking down our analysis here. You typically tend to get into that a little bit deeper when we get into the conference time, but right now, if we can get it early in the regular season, I'm not going to beat it. Texas A&M in their second game of the regular season took on this Texas A&M Commerce team, and they beat them 87-55. So a team that Southern lost to by 2 points, A&M was able to beat by 32 points. Now do you see why I'm willing to lay the 26.5 points? I get it's a lot of points. After their opening season loss to UCF on the road 64-61, a lot of people were panicking there in College Station. Like, is this going to be another another year where Buzz Williams just underperforms and we have to sweat it out on the bubble? We have to think if they're going to get in selected on Selection Sunday? No, I don't think that's going to be the case this year for Texas A&M, because they're not only bringing back a lot of veterans like Wade Taylor, but they have a more developed team. They have a transfer in Zurich Phelps that's coming in from SMU, who has 4 years of college basketball experience that can help take the pressure off of Wade Taylor a little bit. You have guys like Manny Obeseki, who's played for Texas A&M over the last 4 years. Same thing with Henry Coleman. So these guys are familiar with Buzz Williams now. They bring back a lot of returning production and experience, and I think that's going to play dividends for them as we get later and later and later into the regular season. But this is one of the things where I want to take Texas A&M here because they're 3-1 on the year. After they lost that opening loss to UCF, they followed up with the win that I just said against Texas A&M Commerce. They beat Lamar 97-71, and they were able to beat Ohio State, a team that people didn't think they were going to be able to win against, 78-64. So I like Texas A&M here. They've been a solid team. They start off the regular season 20th in offensive adjusted efficiency. They kill the offensive glass, which is a Buzz Williams staple. Right now, 7th in all of college basketball in that area, and they're hitting their three-pointers as well. You love to see that because in years past, Texas A&M has been a team where they can go cold from the three-point line, and when they're only trading twos for threes, that's when things start getting real wacky for them. But right now, to start off the regular season, they're 68th in all of college basketball in terms of three-point shooting. So this is just a spot here where Southern, we're probably going to take them a little bit later on in the regular season when they get into conference play, because they're not a bad team, but they're just in a very weak conference, and they're nowhere near on the level of Texas A&M, an SEC caliber program. This is a Texas A&M team that's 3-0 against the number at home, 3-1 overall. Their only loss coming against the number when they lost to UCF on the road to start off the regular season. So for me, Texas A&M has not shown us anything just yet as to why we can't bet with them on our money. I like Texas A&M. I expect them to blow out a very weak Southern team here, to lay the points, lay the chalk as our first best bet of the day. For our second pick of the day, we're going to go to the college basketball slate, and I've got two quick player props for you guys. First one that we're going to go with is Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going to go over 12.5 rebounds, minus 105 odds on BetMGM. I really like this because we're getting really good value on Giannis, and he's been a guy who's been absolutely grubbing on the boards of late. Now, the Bucks are taking on the Chicago Bulls, a team they are familiar with, but this is the thing, okay? Chicago Bulls are a team that typically says they like to play fast, but they really don't play as fast as most people would think, and the Bucks have made a lot of adjustments since they started off the season piss poor. Since they started off the regular season like 2-10, they've been able to make some adjustments, which is why they've been able to win a few games recently and has contributed to their winning 3 of their last 4 games. They will be able to beat the Rockets. Shout out to Dame for hitting that game-winning shot in their last game. They lost to the Hornets 115-114. That was a game they probably should have won as well. And then before that, they beat the Raptors about 127-120, and they beat the Pistons 127-120, and they also beat the Raptors 99-85. This is a Bucks team that's starting to turn things around, get things going in the right direction, and we have a very high line in this game. 38, like 237. That is crazy to think about, and I understand it because the last time these two teams faced off, the final score is 133-122 in favor of the Chicago Bulls. But this is the thing. I don't think that's the same Bucks team that we're seeing now. That game happened in the second game of the regular season. Now we have a Bucks team that's playing much better defensively. The chemistry is a lot better there. Dame is not all the way healthy, but he looks a lot better and a lot healthier than he did. Giannis is passing the ball more and getting a little bit more involved in the offense, and he had 11 rebounds in that game despite all those shots that they shot. Now we have a total at 238, 239, and I think that the Bucks are going to win this game, and I do think that this game goes under, which means that we're going to get more shot attempts, which means more rebound opportunities for Giannis, and I like him to grab this rebound over 12.5. Let's look at some of his recent lines about how Giannis has been doing. To start off the regular season, he's averaging 12.5 rebounds per game, so you love to see that in and of itself. But recently, 13 rebounds against the Rockets, 15 against the Hornets, 14 against the Pistons. He only grabbed 4 against the Raptors, but he didn't really have to do too much because of the blowout. 13 rebounds against the Celtics, 12 12 against the Knicks, 16 against the Jazz, 16 against the Cavaliers. You guys get it, okay? Giannis has gone over this number literally in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in 6 of the last 8 games. And he's hooked on it once. So he's flirted with that number, and now he's facing a Bulls team which does shoot a lot of shots. They shoot a lot of threes. They don't really have any dominant big men that could stop Giannis, but they do play somebody like Vucevic, who has been playing really well, which means Giannis is going to have to be a little bit more integral on the boards. And keep in mind that right now the Bulls are bottom 5 in the NBA in terms of most rebounds given up per game to opposing teams. And then when you dive into the numbers a little bit deeper, they're 10th in all of the NBA in most rebounds given up to power forwards. So I'm not going to overthink it. I like Giannis in this spot here. 12.5 rebounds. He's been grubbing. We get it at really good value at -105. Don't overthink it. Let's take this as our second pick of the day. For our third and final best bet of the day, if you guys have been tapped into the channel, shout out to all my new subscribers here, then you guys know where I'm going to go. Guy who I said has been on my radar for a little bit. I'm sorry I haven't shared him with you earlier because he's been cashing in and printing in game after game after game, and I'm going to keep riding the trend until it's broken. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mr. Franz Wagner, over 27.5 points, -105 odds. Now, some books have this at 26.5 at -130 or so. If you want to lay that juice, be my guest. I would take that. But 27.5, I'm willing to take this as well because I believe that he's going to get this number. Now, the Orlando Magic are taking on the Los Angeles Clippers in this matchup. Most times when you think about the Clippers, you think about them as a defensive-minded team, a team that's not going to give up a ton of points. You are right. But right now, the Clippers are dealing with a few injuries. We have no Norman Powell in this matchup for them. Obviously, no Kawhi. Obviously, no PJ Tucker. Those are literally 3 small forward shooting guard type of players that would be able to guard Franz Wagner. And now when you have a guy like Wagner who's coming in here red hot ever since Pancaro went down with the injury, then there's no reason why we're not going to take him. All right, guys? If you want to hear all the numbers, then be my guest, okay? Franz Wagner, over the last 10 games or so since Pancaro went down with the injury, he's literally averaging 29 points per game. The dude is absolutely hooping. He had 32 points last game against the Suns, 31 points the game before that against the Sixers, 29 points before that against the Pacers, 32 points against the Hornets, 23 against the Wizards, 27 against the Pelicans, 28 against the Pacers. He's literally gone over this number in 5 of the last 6 games, my friends. So there's no need to overthink it. And those are all the games when Pancaro went down. So with no Pancaro, with nobody else on this lineup to really contribute, because Wendell Carter's coming back from an injury as well. He's supposed to be playing on limited minutes right now. The guard play has been inconsistent for the Magic. You don't know if Jalen Suggs is going to be hitting shots. You don't know if Cole Anthony is going to be getting minutes. You don't know if Anthony Black is going to be getting minutes. Like, there's a lot of things they're trying to figure out right now. They're still winning games. Don't get me wrong. They're still winning games. And why? Because of Franz Wagner. There's a reason why they've won 5-6 games in a row, and it's because of Franz Wagner. So I'm going to go with him today on the road. The Magic are favored, even though they're on the road. 27.5 points were an half for too much. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's run this back as our third and final pick of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that we're giving you guys real quickly on this Wednesday card. To start it off, college basketball, Texas A&M over Southern, -26.5. We got to lay the chalk. Franz Wagner over 27.5 points. Also, keep in mind, the Clippers are top 10 in the NBA in terms of most points given up to small forwards. Not a stat that you would expect to hear, considering who they've had over the last few seasons. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo over 12.5 rebounds against a very weak interior for the Chicago Bulls, and I expect the Bucks to get the win in that game as well. I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it small on this slate. All right, my friends. For more best bets, I'm going to probably have 1 or 2 more, including a ladder leg for you guys, a +100 winner. If you want that, click the link in the description, join the free Discord group, and I'll give you guys that one. All right, my friends. Let's get to that cheddar. I'll see you in tomorrow's video, and hopefully we'll be celebrating another winning day, another 3-0 day, and let's keep the momentum going here in this month of November. All right, my friends. Let's get to that cheddar, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Later, gang.